A few weeks ago, I made a video on the Defensive Player of the Year race and who I believed was currently leading it. In my opinion, and this still holds true, I think that Joel Embiid is the most impactful defender, the best defender in the entire NBA right now, and he should lead the Defensive Player of the Year race when he's healthy. Unfortunately, health has always been a bit of an issue for Embiid, and it's happening once again this season, where he bruised a bone in his knee, and he's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks. Now, this is not a terrible amount of time. This isn't season ruining. This doesn't mean the Sixers still can't be a title contender, but it does mean that the next few weeks are going to be crucial for the Sixers. They're currently half a game ahead of the half a game ahead of the Nets, and they have a very difficult March schedule ahead of them, where they take a very tough road trip to the Western Conference. They play the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Nuggets during 1 week. And not to mention, we play the Bucks in a few days. Actually, I believe we play the Bucks on the day this will be uploading. So, Sixers play a lot of good teams lately. How are they going to win these games? Now, obviously, everybody's got to step up, and the bench has been great lately. Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Danny Green have been great lately. But our star, Ben Simmons, needs to be the one to step up. And even though we all want him to take threes, we all want him to be more aggressive on offense, it's going to come down to his defense. And so I want to tell you why this is Ben Simmons' chance. If he wants to win the Defensive Player of the Year, and if he really should win the Defensive Player of the Year, this is where he makes his case over these next few weeks without Joel Embiid. Because with these two as your stars, the Sixers' defense is always going to be what wins more than their offense. Now, this offense can be great. We've seen it this season. You surround Ben and Joel with shooters, they can have an incredible offense. But between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who both have arguments to be the best defensive player in the entire NBA, the Sixers' defense is what is going to win them the title, or at least make them title contenders year in and year out with these two stars. And now that Joel Embiid is out, it's time for Ben Simmons to take it to an even higher level. He has already debatably been, and many people believe this, that Ben Simmons has been the best defensive player in the league this year. And I gotta say, I can't fight you on that. Alright, now if you look at the advanced stats, it's clearly Joel Embiid. But if you're just going with the eye test, there's absolutely no argument that anyone should be better than Ben Simmons. I completely agree with that. The dude leads the league in deflections and loose balls recovered this season. He's top 10 in steals. He's top 10 in blocks amongst guards. He's just an incredible defender. I have never seen, and granted, I haven't been watching the NBA too long, but I have never seen a player, like watching live, who meets Ben Simmons' levels of size and speed and defensive IQ on the basketball. I would say the closest comparison I could make to him would be Kawhi Leonard back in his prime. Now, they've got some differences. Kawhi Leonard was a bit better of a post defender. He was still a bit of a smarter defender, but he also wasn't as good against elite guards. Not that the Kawhi wasn't great against elite guards, but I don't think he was quite as good against them as Ben Simmons is. This man is just incredible. You see one night he goes in there and he shuts down some great defensive forward. He's playing, I'm going to completely blank on anyone who Ben Simmons has played this year as a good defensive forward. But you know it's true, okay? You know he goes in there and he shuts down like a Blake Griffin type or like a LeBron James. He holds him to, a reasonable game. Not a terrible game, but a reasonable game. Same thing with a Paul George or a Pascal Siakam. And the next night he comes in and he shuts down Luka. He shuts down James Harden. He shuts down Damian Lillard. He will take on any defensive assignment outside of a center. And the man can handle small ball centers. He's not great in the post, however, against the real big centers. But what do you want from this man? Nobody can do literally everything. Ben Simmons, however, is the most versatile defender in the NBA. And one-on-one, if I was told there was going to be a random selection of NBA players, right? They were going to pick somebody out and I had to choose one defender to guard literally anyone in the league, hands down, I would go with Ben Simmons. He is the best one-on-one defender in the league. He is locking down superstars left and right this year. And if the Sixers are going to keep winning games with Joel Embiid out, it's going to be because Ben Simmons locks down their best guy and the rest of the team steps up around him on offense. Obviously, defense isn't everything in the game, but if we win, it's going to be because of Ben Simmons and his defense. That is going to be a huge factor over the next several weeks. The Sixers are currently the number 3 ranked defense in the NBA, and we're going to need to keep that defensive intensity up. Without Joel Embiid, this is it. This is it for Ben Simmons. This is him making his case that he is the best defender in the NBA. And if he can do that, if the Sixers can just tread water, if they can go 500 or above 500 without Joel Embiid over the next few weeks, and their defense keeps being elite, I think Ben Simmons is locked into the Defensive Player of the Year. I think at that point, it's a foregone conclusion. There's no real argument for me at this point for it to be Rudy Gobert or anybody else other than Ben Simmons if he can just keep this team's defense running at an elite level by himself. I'm excited to see it, y'all. I'm a little scared, alright? I'm very scared as a Sixers fan to see how this team does against all these elite teams without Joel, but I am excited to see what Ben Simmons can do as the lead guy on this team, specifically on the defensive end. I'm telling you, it is going to be a show. So that is my case for Ben Simmons as Defensive Player of the Year. I can't wait for the next few weeks. I can't wait for the rest of this season, alright? I am very confident in the Sixers right now with how their bench has been going off, with how Danny Green and Seth Curry have finally been hitting their shots once again. They're back in rhythm. It's just been great, y'all. It's just been great. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you're all as excited for the rest of this season as I am.